All right. So class is on recording, and I want to officially welcome you to tonight's session. Uh, Welcome to SQL. That is what we're going to be looking at tonight. So, and like I said, SQL is a bit scary for the new people. If you don't know anything about it, it can be scary, but it's not that difficult. It's a language. So these are basic languages for data analysts. Not only data analysts, but data language, because it's not only data analysts uses this language, data engineers uses this language as well. Administrators, database is database language. It's a language we use to communicate with applications, database applications. That's how we interact with application. You need to talk to the application, and the application will respond. And this application is database. So if you go to the database and write our conventional language, they are not going to understand you. So this is a way to communicate. Just like in business analysis, we still have a language we use to communicate our ideas. We have languages like UML, Unified Modeling Language. We have user stories. These are languages we use. So every domain have their language. When we talk about data management, because data reside in database, we query database using SQL. And if we come to building an application, there is language we use, and that is programming language. So these are different languages. But like I said, it's not difficult. It's just for us to learn it and understand it. So let's move to our lesson notes. Today is going to be introduction. It's not going to be technical at this point. It's just for us to understand the basic foundation, basic concept, how to use SQL, who uses SQL, where do you use SQL, categories of SQL. If you understand it that way, it's going to be easier for you, because SQL is being used by a lot of people in the data industry. Like I said, data analysts use them as well. We have data engineers, they use it. We have database administrators. All these people, they use. So we need to learn it as we are planning to become data analysts. We need to know where is our boundary. And maybe in future, we're trying to progress from becoming a data analyst to database administrator. We equally know that this is our boundary. If we equally becoming, because from here, so many of us are going to graduate or move higher to become data engineer. So you need to know how to use it. It's a very versatile language when it comes to data environment. You use it for data manipulation, data in so many ways, querying. So let's understand it better from our notes. So I'm sharing my screen, and some of you have already started asking for job in data analysis, and I'm telling them to calm down. Let's finish learning, and we'll talk about job. So, okay. Like I said, you can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can
Yes,
see
sir,
it.
we can see it.
All right, good. The first thing is to understand SQL. I would have jumped it to start, but I know so many of us are hearing it from the first time. So let's try to be patient and so that everybody can follow. So what is SQL? SQL is a short form of structured query language. Like it's a language. Query is what is query? Query is asking a question. Querying someone is, if in the office you say, my boss give me a query, interrogating you. Why are you querying me? So query is a language, structured query language for querying database. So is a standard programming language specifically designed for managing and manipulating relational database. It's not every database, it's relational database. So these days we have different structured database and we have unstructured database. Like we talk about structured data and unstructured data. Likewise, where this data reside, we have this structured and unstructured. Like if we talk about, I don't know if some of you know about Firebase. Firebase is unstructured, and where we have some of this unstructured data, like images, videos, you see Facebook and all of them, all these social media applications. You see the kind of information, anything will keep on pushing everything. It's not organized. That means that it's not structured. But we have structured data, structured information. And these structured data, they are in the structured databases, that is relational databases. So SQL is meant for these databases like SQL, Postgres, and the rest of them. So that is the purpose. We use it to query those databases, to manipulate it, to extract information from or data from these databases. So SQL is used for interacting and retrieving, inserting, updating, deleting data. So if you have a database, you can insert data, you can update it, you can do my kind of just let's say manipulation. That is the simple word for data manipulation. So that's what we use it. At this point, we, the data analysts, we have other professionals that use it in different other ways. Okay. Standard language. SQL is an ANSI, that's American National Standard Institute, but has several dialects. So we have a standard SQL from ANSI, but you see different other databases, they have kind of unique kind of dialect, but all those things are minor. So SQL will have it in a very a controlled standard, which is ANSI. That is the standard that controls everything in SQL. So most SQL is within the American Standard Institute standard. That is ANSI standard. When to learn SQL, SQL for data management is primarily used for managing large data across industries. And large data, every let's say 8, because it's just that recently all these social media started coming and we started having all this other. Most of the organization, all their data are very structured, very organized. So that's why so many industries, so many organizations, they use this, because a lot of organizations, everything they do, they have a database for it. So we have our customer data, we have product data, we have employee data. All these are in a structured database. And the only way we can manage our, like now, let's say an employee, you want to amend your record in the data from the database. You want to, all of a sudden you change your name, you want to update it in the database. You use SQL to do that. Then you have a large sales data, and you want to have a lot of duplications. You want to remove all these duplication. You use SQL to do that, managing it directly on the database. At times you can get the data out of the database and manage it. But so many data can be managed directly inside the database using SQL. So data analysis. Analysts use SQL to query and retrieve specific data for reporting and analysis. And this is where we belong at this point. Retrieving data for reporting and analysis. This is where we'll be focusing, but we'll try as much as we can to be versatile so that you learn much. But this is where we plan to. Then versatile skill. Knowledge of SQL is valuable across various fields, including finance, marketing, healthcare, and tech. In demand, SQL is one of the top skills required in data-centric role. I've said that before, like data analyst, data scientist, and business intelligence, database administrator. We need all these profession roles. You work with data all the time, and all these data are in database. So we need to know how to interact with databases. So that's why SQL is that in high demand. Then we have types of command in SQL. This is command. Different command determine the different purpose. So we have, at this point, we'll try to break it down into categories so that you will understand how to start using it and who uses this and this and that. So it's very, very important you pay attention at this point. If you are just new to SQL, or you are new to data analysis or data management is very, very key. So SQL are grouped into several categories based on their purpose. So this is, we say SQL, then we break them down into categories. So you understand how to use it. It's if important if you are part of our project management class. You hear that I talk very all the time. I talk about breakdown structure. It's equally here. You equally have to break them down into categories so you understand and don't mix it up. Now we have data definition language, which is part of SQL. These are subsection or subcategory, or let's say categories. We have data definition language. By the way, data definition, you already should know the purpose, defines the structure of the database. Before we start using this database, that database needs to be created and structured. Mind you, we are not the people coming here to create the database. We are not structuring the database as data analysts, but that database needs to be structured, need to be defined. The kind of information, the kind of data that we need to have there need to be defined, and someone need to do that definition. So define here means create a new database or table. We are not the people that are going to create the database or create the table. In most cases, we are going to be working as data analysts. The database is already there. The tables are already there created. So, and who does that? In some cases, we have data engineers and we have database administrators who does this. But you see, they use SQL as well to do some of this work. Not only we data analysts use it. So as create command. You have create new database or table, have alter. After creating a table or database, we might want to modify it. That is alter. Modify an existing database object, like adding a column to a table. Then we have drop. Delete database or delete a table. So all these three activities or these three commands, we might not be using them as data analysts. Who uses them? Data engineers, database administrators. They are going to be using, most data engineers, they are going to be using all this. But we will try to do all these things so you learn how to do it as well. It's part of what we are going to. We are going to be creating a database. We are going to be modifying and dropping and things like this. So you learn how to do it as well every time. Okay, let's move to the next category. We have data manipulation language. By the name manipulation, we know that this is our domain. With the data analysts, this is our domain. We manipulate. So what do we mean? The purpose here is manipulate data within the database. Database is already there, created. Table is already there, created. We already have data. We already have values inside that database and table. So we here manipulate. We can insert values into the table. We can retrieve data from the table. We can update We can remove record from the table. In most cases, I want us to see this particular drop and delete. It might be confusing. You see here, drop here means delete table or database. You are deleting the table entirely. You are deleting the database entirely, but we are not going to be having access. I'm telling you, you are not as only if your role changes. As long as you are going to be a data analyst in a company, you are not going to be having access to do all this, to create, alter. You are not, because you are not a data engineer and you are not a database administrator. So you'll be restricted from doing this. But what you'll be having access to do, the database administrator will grant you access to do some of this: selecting, inserting, updating, and deleting. Deleting here means removing record from the value from a table. So you can delete like numbers, names from a table. Like if you have duplication, you can delete some values from the table, but you cannot delete the table itself. You cannot delete the data. You cannot drop. So here, so let us not be confused with drop and delete. There are two commands. So one drop command is for definition language, and delete command is for manipulation language. So just try to grab it that way. Then we have data control language. Control. Purpose: to control access to data. You know that data is valuable information, that valuable asset, let me call it assets to the organization, one of their most valued assets. If you go to a bank, when they lose financial record from their database, you know what that means? All the money, all the transaction, you send money, how much you have in your account can be wiped out. So these are very sensitive environments. If you go to healthcare like NHS, they have patient record data set, big, large data sets of patients. If you lose those information or those data, if anything happens, that is crisis. As a matter of fact, that's a national crisis if anything happened to such data. So, who have access to some areas? It must be highly controlled. So, these are some of the things like grants. Give users specific privilege, access. You know, so many of you might not have, not so many, we are not going to be having this kind of privilege to use this command as a data analyst. These are some of the areas we are going to be not be given access to. Because once you have access to grant, you can grant even terrorist access, cyber. And when that's when you hear cyber attack. You've heard cyber attack before. That is it. Somebody must have access in order for that to happen. And we have remove access or privilege. So if someone have more access to, you are seeing more than what you are supposed to be seeing, automatically your access will be revoked. And we use revoke command to revoke such accesses. So this is the people that have this kind of power to use this kind of command are going to be mainly database administrators. These are big roles, administrators, database administrators. This is another area one might want to venture into. Okay, transaction control language. Transaction. In this area, in some cases, you might have access, maybe limited access to, control this kind of environment. But the main people having access onto this are going to be administrators. Manage transaction within a database. Commit. Save all changes made in the transaction. Roll back. If you are trying to retrieve or trying to insert or do anything and maybe you insert wrong information or wrong value or things like that, you can use reverse to pull it back to the original state. That's what I mean, roll back and save point. Set a save point within a transaction, so can automatically, save when can program it so that immediately you finish working, automatically save. At times you will leave it that you must click save before you save point. These are some of these command you use. So you see the way these commands are broken down into categories and clearly define the way we use them. So it's going to make the work very easy for you. You know where you are, so if it's not defined very well like this, you might become a data analyst. Tomorrow you go and start fighting with someone. Why can't I create a database? Why I've been trying to create a table, but it's not within your jurisdiction to create a table. But we are going to learn how to do most of all these things anyway. All right. We have okay, let me give you opportunity to, if you have any question here, let me know if I will follow it. Yeah. So, are we good?
Yeah, I'm good, sir.
Yes, sir, we are good.
Yes, sir.
So, what's been happening? I will have only a few people in attendance today. Is it how it's been? A lot of people have been dropping.
I guess it's because of the time. I mean, most of them don't know.
Oh, yeah, I guess
We didn't
The
notice
time
the
changed.
Some of you, okay, I should have made it as a special announcement.
In short, I was very lucky. I just said, let me check. I saw it.
Because in that meeting link, I made a comment there.
Yes, it's the comment I saw that made me to.
And so many of us don't read.
No, we'll wait till 9 o'clock.
And again, we already know that this is the way it is. So we just come and click, and that is it. We don't even read. Well, I'm sorry about that. I'm so sorry. I get it now. I get it. So sorry about it. We're in the same time zone now. So when it's 7 o'clock in Nigeria, it's 7 o'clock in UK. So, well, I will send my apologies. in our WhatsApp group for this, and really anyway they watch the video, but so sorry. Okay, let's move. So so many of you here are very, many of you here read at least. It's good to know that some of us we do read. So we are good. No question yet. All right.
Yes, sir. No
Yes.
questions, sir.
No
Okay.
questions.
Okay. Good. Good. Okay. We have SQL syntax and conventions. So here is to kind of some convention or some kind of the way SQL works. Number one is that is case insensitive. Case insensitive is that whether you are using capital letter or small letter, it does not concern SQL. But in most cases, we use capital letter, like you see select here. You see when we want to write select, we use block letter like this. Capital, call it like capital letter. Some countries they call it block letter. You see select, you see from. You see all of them are, so SQL do not care about all these. They are case insensitive. But it's standard practice, we write it in uppercase. Uppercase is like I said, some say capital letter, some say block letter, some say uppercase, some say lowercase. So whether uppercase means capital letter, we already know that. Then we have semicolon. When we finish a statement or a syntax, like you see in our natural language, we know what we call natural language. Language, the way we have been using it since we started writing. So all this is what we call natural language. In natural language, you see, when you finish a statement, you must put a full stop. When you see a full stop, then you are writing to, I know that we call it punctuations. Punctuation, I know that yes, you are finished. I'm not expecting any other. If anything need to start, is then you are starting a fresh or another statement. Okay, in SQL, you need semicolon. So if you do not put a semicolon, the database will not know that you've finished your syntax or your statement. So you need a semicolon. So you'll be seeing it a lot, especially in certain databases. Okay, but almost all the databases anyway. Then you have comments. In so many cases, when we write a syntax, we follow it up with a comment. We might write a sentence and then use a natural language to explain what we mean. So if you want to add a comment, that comment, you add it, but the database will not read that comment. It's an individual working on that syntax, because we might have, like, let's see, we have data engineer, we have database administrator, we have data analyst. All of us are working on the same data set, and where I stop, I might want you to know that at this point, so something happened here, and is between the humans or the professionals working on that. This is the way we communicate. So that comment is not meant for the system. It's meant for professionals to work in. So we use it to communicate using our natural language. So if we want to make any comments, we use a double dash. Once you put double dash, it's going to highlight all those in kind of ash color, showing that it's a comment, but it's for single line comment. Just one is. If you have multiple line comment, like you have up to 4 lines, you want to make a comment, we use slash asterisk, and we use another asterisk slash to close. So that is comment. So that is a comment. When you make that comment, it will not affect anything. So the syntax you have for the database will still be there. So that is what I mean by a comment. So as we are progressing, we are going to be seeing all these things. So this note, this is just to prepare you, because when we start using databases and using, we might be referring to the notes we have for some of these. So that's why we are laying this foundation for you, so that you can always fall back to look and go back. So at this point, we are going to look at basic statements, basic SQL statements. Let me add more here for data analyst or data analysis. So these are basic statements. Why I'm saying data analysis is because we have other environments here. So what we are going to be looking at more like from this, manipulation language. So this table is just for reference, because although as we are progressing, we are going to be using data sets. I know you guys have been using imported data set. We'll look at that. Well, as well, our internship is on Better Marketplace, so which I want us to be. But before we close, we are going to be carrying out a lot of analysis for Better Marketplace using their data sets to create tables and create dashboards, interactive dashboards, giving us insights. So these are some of the things I want us to be doing as we are progressing. Yeah, because they are the people that are going to give us reference letters when we are looking for a job. So this table is just for reference for now. It's a Better Marketplace sales table. So, and here we have order ID, we have a product, we have a region, we have a quantity, we have a price, we have customer ID, and order date. Okay, what we plan to do here is to look at some of these basic statements. Using all this command we've been talking about. So basic statement here, like call it statement, you can equally call syntax. So the purpose, select here, talk about it when we are starting, when we are looking at, but I want us to look at small examples here. Select, if we want to manipulate this table from a database, all we need to is something like this. We can use select statement. And the purpose is to retrieve data from one or more tables. So the syntax will look like this: select column 1, column 2 from table name. So if we want to manipulate this table, it's going to be example: select product price from cells. If you write it, you have now queried this table, and it's going to bring product and price from, that's what it's going to select from you, and it's going to display it, you know, for you from where, from the query editor you are using. So this will retrieve product names and their prices from the table. So if you come here, you look at this, you see product, select product. So you're going to bring out all the products here and then their corresponding price. And it's going to ignore all this. It's going to ignore all this other ID. It's going to ignore region. It's going to ignore quantity. It's going to ignore customer ID and the other date. It's just going to match product with price. So if you use that, that is what it's going to give you. For instance, this is a database. Mind you, in a database, you might not be seeing this. So the only way you can see this is using that syntax, and we'll show you all the products we have. For instance, you want to understand all the products we have in our database, and you want to understand all their prices. With that, it will select them and give it to you. So that is how it works. We are going to do all these things practically, so don't worry. Today is just introduction. That is the way to use select, the way select works. And then we'll have where clauses or where statement or syntax here. So the purpose here is to filter record that meets specific condition. So in this case, you see, we can use we can combine two commands here. See here, we are now combine select and where. So it's a clause can be combined with other statements. So you see here, you see select from where. So it means filter. If I want to use natural language, what I'm speaking is natural language. So when I say natural, understand natural language, they are not SQL language, they are not programming language, they are not unified modeling language. Natural language is what me and you, or this we are using to communicate. So, and in the natural language, it means filter record that meets specific condition. Filter. We see filter a lot. So if I'm in if I have a table here, I'll just click on it and we'll filter it. And so in this purpose, If we are using Excel, we know well how to filter. I hope we've done that. So here is select from sales table where region is Lagos. It means you need to select from Lagos. And what we are trying to do here is here. What we are looking at is region here is the want to anything about Lagos. That is also so the purpose is to filter the table so that all these Abuja, Port Harcourt, Ibadan, Kano, all of them, anything that is not Lagos will disappear from this table. We know what filter, so I don't need to explain it so much. We are pro already by what we've done with Excel. We should understand what we mean by filter. Then insert mean inserting values inside the table, inserting record inside the table. In some cases, we might just have empty table in a database, and we need to insert record into that table. So insert statement, the purpose is to add new record to a table. And you see example here is insert. All this is, that is the SQL we're talking about. All this, that is, there's no other thing about it, just this syntax, how to use. If you understand how, just talking to database, but using special language. Okay, insert into cells, then brackets, so that if you have a lot of these columns, you have other ID, you have products, you have like we have here. So you identify all the columns, and within the columns, then the value you want in each column. And that's it here. You specify the column here into cells. You specify the database first, the database, and inside that database, this is the table inside the database, that sales table, and inside that table you specify the columns where these values are going to be inserted, and this is the value want to be inserted into this. And once you've done that, it is going to go and insert inside that. So this is to add order with this order ID 1021 product price in Abuja region, and the quantity of 3, and the price is 1,500, and the customer is customer ID is 1005, and other dates. So yeah, maybe if there is an omission, a customer, you want to a missing transaction you want to insert. With this, you can insert this missing transaction inside the database, or inside the this is just to update the table. The table is already there. You can use it to even insert a whole full. You can create a table, but there is no record in the table, so you can use this to create a full record in a table, so inserting. And then we have update statement. Update here is that we already have a record, but maybe there's a mistake. We want to update. So modifying existing record. Example here is insert sales, set price 1,600 and where order is 1001. That is, this is to update the price of the products in the table where the order ID is 1001 and the price is 1,600. So that is how you use update statement. And then we have delete. When we want to delete or remove a record from a table, we should know our boundaries, like data analysis. All this I cover is mainly what are going to be required from us. On basics. We'll have a bit of complex where we're going to be using join and functions, but we're coming to that. So this is to delete cells where order ID is 1013. So when we see where its order ID is 1, so if we want to do that, it's going to 10, come here, this is 101, like this is the order ID 10. Once we do that, if this table is inside a database, it's going to come here and delete this floor meal. For instance, if this floor meal is captured twice, kind of duplication, we want to remove some of this, can use that to get it updated and remove it. So that's delete. So these are basics. Once we are getting it this way, this is where we need to start building basics like this. Once we understand getting it understand from this point, then we are getting it. And we have SQL constraints and conditions. Constraints are rules applied to column in a table to maintain accuracy and reliability of the data. In SQL, have a primary key. Ensure each record has a unique identifier. Each record must have a unique identifier. That's all called primary key. We are going to be seeing all these unique identifiers a lot. If you come here, every record unique identifier, you see here, ID. That's called unique identifier. Every record here has a unique, like now, you see order IB. Then you come here, you see customer ID. It helps to know if no customer, we can't have two customers cannot have the same customer ID. That makes them unique. No order, that is transaction, can have the same. So it's a must. Every table, this is the way, a rule of thumb, that a table within the database for SQL to work very well, this must be here. IDs, unique IDs. So it's a rule. That's what I mean by primary key. That's got unique identifier. Then we have foreign key, link a column to another table, another table's primary key. So in this table we have here, we'll have if customer ID is the primary, then we can link customer ID with others. These are kind of foreign. So if one becomes the primary ID, the other ID is going to be a foreign key. So you linking column to another table, but in most cases, it's going to be two tables. This we are going to talk about it. Is going to we'll learn it more when we are doing it practical. But for instance, here, if we come here, let me use this, elaborate more on this. You see this table can be broken down into two tables. One table will be about transaction order, and this order can just end. We can remove customer who is doing this order here, meaning that we'll have orders here in a table. But then in another table, we can have customer table. And then in another table, we'll have order table, just sales table. Sales table can just be order, product, region, quantity, price, and date. So, but if we need to have a complete information, we will say, okay, now we have customer table and we have sales table. We need to match or to merge customer table and sales table to have a full information so that we know the customers buying products and we know how much these customers are spending. This will help us to target our campaign, our promotion towards this high volume or rich customers. So it's just linking two tables using primary key and foreign, call it secondary key or foreign key. That's it. So that's another one. We're going to understand it better. That is then have unique. Ensure all values in a column are unique. Already it covers unique identifier. Would like to be unique. Then not null. Prevent null value in the column. Null value is not good. We don't like, so we can use SQL to prevent null values. And here, check set condition on the value allows in the column. We can set conditions. And then default set a default value for a column when no value is specific. So these are some of the constraints and conditions we have in SQL, and we can use it to make sure that the data is clean, accurate all the time. So you kind of, if you talk about, call it contrast and condition, it can be formatting. If you go to softwares like Excel, we call it formatting. And when you format a table, then we create a lot of rules and conditions around that table that it protects that data set against any kind, making sure that quality data is being captured at all times. So we can equally have, I'm borrowing the word formatting to make sure that you understand this better. So have context and conditions. In Excel, we talk about conditional formatting. I hope you guys did that, conditional formatting. Yeah. Did we capture conditional formatting in Excel?
Yes, sir, we did.
Yes, sir, we
All
did.
right. Yeah, Choma did a
Wait,
good job. Okay. Here we have SQL functions. I know you guys did functions as well. You know, where we have count, sum, average, min, max. Some of you say this again because you cannot run away from this. All these functions, even as we are progressing to Power BIs and even Python, you still meet functions. So you have to try to be, you know, very familiar with it because we're going to be using them all the way. So these aggregate functions used to perform calculation on multiple rows. So it's very, very important. So everything about function in all, even in Excel, even in I saw how some of you are struggling when it comes to VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, and the rest of them. They are not difficult. All you just know is try to understand it, read it and again, you understand. When you read, you practice and you get it. So, and yeah, so we're going to be using them as well. Aggregates, functions. And here you see select count. So we use select is going to be using select a lot. You see select is doing a lot of work. Select count, put asterisk, average from employees. So is an want to understand the average salary of the employees, so we can use that to understand that. But very soon we'll be doing all these things in real time. So that's about functions. We have sum, we have average, we have min, max. So we're going to look into all those things. And we'll have join in SQL. Join. When we mean join, we mean combining. This is the a bit advanced part of SQL, but it's not still so difficult. So here I mean, join allow you to combine data from two or more tables based on related column. Yeah. We already talked about primary and foreign keys. So if you know how to use that primary and foreign keys in when you get to Power BI, this is what we call modeling, data modeling. Data model when you are joining two tables together based on their relationship and things like that. We equally do this is how we do it in SQL, we use join to do that. And we have inner join, we have left join, we have right join, and we have full join. So the inner join is when you return record from matching values in both tables. Matching values. Where, how do you do that? You use IDs, key IDs. For example, you see order ID, you see order and customer. Like the example I showed earlier, we're trying to match, let's say, this customer table and sales table. So order here. From order, inner join customer on customer ID equal to customer's ID. So what this means, you are merging from two tables, customer ID and order ID. These are the two variables we are going to use to join these two tables. These are two tables. You use when we are doing, we're going to use foreign keys and primary keys, joining these two tables. And it's going to go to these two different tables because these are two tables existing in that database. And with this, you connect and get information from the two tables. That's what inner join means. And then we have left join. Return all record from left table and match record from right table. So it's still two tables, matching record from two tables. Then we have right join. Return all record from right table and match record from left table. And then we'll have full join. Return all record when there is a match in either left or right table. So that's it. But I think most of them is going to be better understood when we are doing them practical. So this will give us a very good overview of what SQL does, how to use SQL, the formats, and when to use them. So SQL is a powerful tool for managing and analyzing data. Mastering SQL opens the door to advanced analytics, data engineering, and data science roles. So that is it. That is the introductory part of SQL that we meant to capture today. This is giving you a general understanding, overview about SQL, lay the foundation about SQL. You cannot, if you are confused about SQL before, I believe with this, you should, oh, is this the SQL? Yeah, but the next is we need to, when we start doing it practical, you say that it's very sweet. And the other things we are meant to capture, this would have been the topic for tomorrow, which I think we can just capture it tonight. So that is IT professionals who uses SQL. I want to make a special note for this because during my last class, people tend to understand there's a lot of mix-up or questions based on understanding where to use. So I decided to break it down further based on rules, how we are going to use it, based on your rule. And we have here, we have data analysis. How do you use SQL? The capacity here as a data analyst use SQL to retrieve, filter, and analyze data to inform business decision. They commonly work with large data set and they use SQL for data extraction and transformation. Common SQL command data analysts use is here. You see select, retrieve data from table, where, filter data based on condition, group by, aggregate data by specific column, order by, sort, join, combine data from multiple tables, count, sum, average. This perform data aggregation. Then we have other people like data engineers. If you are looking for a job, you are going to be seeing a lot of data engineer, this and that. So let us understand our boundaries, and I hope some of us will become the boss. If you are becoming data engineer, you better know how, when you are transiting to data engineer from data analyst. So capacity, data engineer use SQL to structure and manage large data base, often creating ETL. With ETL is what we mean extract, transform, and load. More of the cases, the extract, transform, and load is an automated activity where we transform, keep on extracting, transform, and load. So that is so we create that on pipelines that move data into data warehouse. This is what they use it. They move it from one source, they transform it from database, they transform and they move to a data warehouse. They ensure data is clean, optimized, and ready for analysis. And the common SQL command used here is the create, like I said, create. So, you know, when I was talking about all these, I did not break them down. I just talk about, but I wanted this time to create for you to really know where. So this is create a table, define and set up a table, alter a table, modify existing table structure, insert, load into database, update, edit existing record, delete, remove data, join, integrate data from different source, view, create view for streamlined querying. Then we have database administrator. So it's like who owns the data, who owns that database. Database is an application. So most of the application have an administrator who owns it. The person determines who comes in and who goes out, what goes in and what comes out by the kind of access control they give to you. Is a very big position. You know, administrators of different applications is another. We have so many other roles, you know, in IT, what that's like data, not database, but administrators, system administrators. These are big positions and they are very highly valued, you know. So database administrator maintain and optimize system, managing access, security backup, and database tuning. They also troubleshoot performance issues. So these are common SQL command. These people or this role uses, they use grants. They are the people that are granting people access into the database. So they give the access they give you determine what you can do. They know your role. So with your role, you know, so many companies have rules, what every role can do on their database, and it's already there. So they know what you need, and based on the organizational policy, they grant you access based on your role. So if you are struggling with the kind of access given to you, then you can request for more access, but you need to state the reason. If you so, here is grant and revoke. You manage user permission, the access, call it access control. Backup database, they create a database backups. You know, most companies, they don't just leave their data like that, they have backups. So even if there is a cyber attack on their database, they can just roll back from their backup. So that's it. It's a rule of thumb that these are some of the things we'll have to start learning gradually, you know, as professionals, to have backups. Restore database, like I said, once there is they have a backup, and if anything goes wrong, they can just restore data from backup. They just from the backup pull it back. So if you are attacking on anything, they already have a backup. Analyze, optimize query performance, alter table, drop table, modify, or delete table. They have power to do that. Explain, analyze query execution, plan for optimization, create index, enhance query performance. So these are some of the things they are going to be using. So, because if you might, in the work of you are in your work as a data analyst, you might come across things where some people are using grants, but you say, how come we didn't, although we try to do what much we can, but still we didn't teach us how to grant access or how to revoke, or so yeah. These are for data administrators. This is what they do. Then we'll have data scientists. You must be hearing about data scientists. Data scientists use SQL to extract, clean, manipulate data for analysis and modeling. They do a lot of modeling. They may also use SQL to join data sets before reporting them into Python or R for further analysis. So scientists mainly they use this data because this is where the data, but most of them are working on Python and R. They use Python and R programming a lot. So, and fair enough, we are going to touch Python. It's part of, but we are not, Python is very elaborate, but we are going to touch it to where we can understand it, but not as deep, because Python is very deep. So, and we have this command where they can use select as well, extracting join. They can use join as well, group by, having, with, case, window, function. See, these are some of the command data scientists can use to interact with a database for the purpose of their performance in areas like Python and R. And we have software developers as well. Most of the software developers, so many of them create database as well. Some of them are database engineers as well. So some of the data engineers, we call them developers as well. So they more especially, most of them work within the data environment, call them data developers. So software developers use SQL to interact with database in application, ensuring data is stored, updated, and retrieved correctly. They write queries to interact with data stored in relational database. They equally use inserts, they use update, they use delete, they use select, they use join, and they use transaction, which is begin, commit, rollbacks. We have business intelligence. Business intelligence, it is kind of a step ahead of data analyst, you know. So they understand business very well, and they understand data very well. Most of these people, company rely on them a lot for a lot of decision making. So BI developer design and create reporting and data visualization system using SQL to extract data for database and reports. They use command like select, order by group, join, create view, union, and keys. So this is what this group of people uses. And we have product managers. So you see product managers as well. You see a lot. Data SQL can be used by a lot of people, not just data analysts or for data analysis. So the knowledge of SQL is very, very important. Okay, the capacity product managers use SQL here is to gain insight into product usage and user behavior, relying on data to inform decision. They use select, join, group, limit, order, count, just the way data analyst uses them. And then financial analysts, we equally have financial analysts. They use SQL for financial analysis to analyze and manage financial data, often working with transaction data, expense tracking, and performance metrics by using command like select, join, group, where having and date functions. These are the way some of the command they use. And finally, we have system administrators. These are the database administrators we're talking about. System administrators use SQL to automate and manage user access, monitor database, and ensure efficient performance. These people, they own the database. The organization are giving them the authority to decide what goes in, what comes out, and make sure that fair use of data and access. So they have this command they use, they create user, grant, revoke, manage database access and permission, basically, backup database, restore, database, maintain data integrity, explain, check query performance, truncate table, quickly delete all record in a table, and creating the improve query performance. So this is how we have 9 roles that you are actively using SQL to do their job on daily basis. So you can see why, and all these roles are high-powered roles in IT today. That's it. I think this has given us basic understanding about SQL. So the next thing we are going to do is we are going to be installing a database we are going to be using, because all this we are saying is not we need to do them practical. So we need to set up database. So that's going to form the basis of our next learning. Everybody needs to have a database, but to know what we're going to be using, we're going to be using SQLite, where SQLite is very good for us to learn with. So we install it on our system and we can start our practical. So that's it for tonight. So introduction to SQL sorted. So if you got more questions, yeah, I'm here for you. So if you have been scared, hey, data SQL is not a rocket science. It's just a language, but it's the language of the data analyst. So yeah. Go, let me see if let me see. So if you have questions, you raise the hand, but I can see all of you are very happy. Or is it you guys are missing Choma? Blessing?
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Charles. Good evening,
How are you?
everyone. Thank you for today's detailed class. My question is, as a data analyst using SQL, does it mean that we don't have anything to do with data cleaning, or will the data be cleaned before?
That is what we mean by data cleaning. That's what we mean by data manipulation.
Okay.
Data cleaning is data manipulation and transformation is the same thing. Data cleaning is data transformation. It's the same language, depends on whatever. But data cleaning is when you're cleaning it to make, and the way you use it, like see here, you see all these. If we want to clean a data to make it better, we can select data here. We can where group and equally insert, and although insert because it's why some of this insert, we are not going to be working alone. Are you getting it? We are going to be working with database administrator. At times we're going to be working with engineer, and
Okay.
they've given, even if there is you need to clean a data directly on the database. In most cases, we are not going to be having the the access to do that, because you can, is aware of committing a fraud. So before any data can be injected, like insert into the record, there must be a lot of signatories to approve that. You can't just, they are not going, I'm telling you, they are not going to allow you to insert data into them, even if they have or delete data from their record. It must be somebody like database administrator
Okay.
who have the ownership of what is going on in that database. So your own is to, if you want to clean, most of the time, you get set data out of the database. Are you getting it? When you get it out of the database, you can go and clean. You can get it into Excel format, then you can go to Excel and clean it there. You can get it into Power BI, you can go there and clean it. But for you to clean it inside the database, I doubt it. No company is going to allow you to do that as a data analyst.
Okay.
Are you getting it?
Yes,
Because
sir.
this is the easiest way to corrupt the data in the database. When they allow you to insert record or delete record from their database, most of those records there came from transaction. For instance, let me give you an example here. You see Beta Marketplace is an e-commerce application, just like, let's say, Amazon, or let's say Jumia or Alibaba. They have database. So all the buying and selling going on, are you getting it? All the buying and selling going on in that e-commerce platform, they have a database. All those things are stored there. Now, what they want from you as a data analyst is to analyze information in their database. They are not asking you to go and inject, because the only way information goes into that database is from the platform who is buying and selling. So you are not going to the database to start analyzing or cleaning inside their database. So all you need is to use SQL to extract data from that database and pull it inside software like Excel. It's in form of Excel. It becomes Excel. With that Excel is a fresh data from database. SQL has helped you to extract this data out. Are you getting it? Then,
yes, sir.
In Excel, just like what you guys have been doing, you can then start cleaning them.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Then I'm telling you the role of a data analyst here. Then you can equally get it into Power BI.
Power BI.
In Power BI, you can clean, that is transform it before you start putting it, visualizing it. But when it comes to using SQL to clean data inside the database, you don't have that privilege. The only person that can do that is an administrator. But in most cases, before an administrator can delete, it depends on where the kind of data, or it must get approval before you can tamper with company data. So that is it. I want us to understand it at this point, that is, data is very sensitive. It's not something you can just, I'm the data analyst here, I want to go and clean data in that. You don't do that. It's just like now. So anything you need to, your own as a data analyst is to help them understand the trend, the state of that data. And you can do it by getting the data out of the database and then analyze it. You get the data into Excel or get the data into Power BI or Tableau. You can even get data into Python, R programming. Know where you are going to get the data, then go there and analyze it. So SQL is just to help you to get data out of database as a data analyst. Other people can use it in different ways, just like I said. I hope I've made it clear.
Very clear, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Gerson?
Good evening, Mr. Charles.
Yeah, please try to increase your voice.
Okay, I'm even on the please. All right, I say thank you very much for the explicit explanation.
Okay, thank you.
However, from your explanation, I note here that it seems to be that data analysis is just a scratch of aspects of data. Because from the explanation, I begin to feel that data engineer, system administrator, and all of that can actually do the work of a data analyst without can assume the work of both data analyst and that of engineer. Maybe it may not be administrator on the basis that it's not given the power, but can still start the work of an administrator. Because since they have the capacity to clean, delete, rate, and update from the database. So my question now is, where is the role of the data analyst? Even though it's of a high demand, I'm just trying to marry the gap.
Okay, if you followed the first introduction I did in data science, you should have understand like data science is, let me use the word like, let's say medical science. Are you getting it? We have data science, we have medical science. Okay, if we go to medical science, we have pediatricians, we have surgeons, we have cardiologists, we have gynecologists, we have, they are all medical doctors. You know that?
Yes.
Yeah. So when we come to data science, we have data engineers, we have data analysts, we have data governance, we have data intelligence. So there are so many roles. We have database administrators. So they have different roles. And like you said, the data administrator can do the work of a data analyst? No. You see, data administrator, what they make sure is that they have in that, they manage that system, database. They try to make sure that they have quality data in the system. Are you getting it? Good. Data analysts, their own is not about whether, because it's not their duty to protect or preserve data in the system. Their own is to give insight about, I want you to understand the role of a data. They are there for insight, giving insight. The other person is trying to protect the data in the database, making sure we have quality data in the database. That is protection. Are you getting it? Use everything possible to protect access of intrusion and the wrong information, making sure that data we have there are quality data. Good. You see their own role?
Yes.
Then data analysis is that data in the database, nobody knows what is going on in that data. The management do not know what is going on. That data is just there. The management do not know if the company is growing, if the company is going down. They don't know. So your role as a data analyst, and let me use the word analysis. You do analysis to provide insights and advise them about what is going on. You are not there to protect data in the database. You are not the administrator. It's not your duty. Your duty is that get that data in the database out, analyze it, and tell us what is going on. Are we having the highest sales? Is it in Lagos? Is it in Abuja? Is it in Port Harcourt? You are giving insights about the sales data. Who is the highest, the top customer in Lagos? That you are providing information about that. What is the best-selling product in Better Marketplace? You are providing insights. You're now telling us about the location. You are now telling us about the best product. You are now telling us about the best customer. That is your job as a data analyst. You can equally tell us about the best employees, analyze employee data. We know how many based on their, that's it. You know the average salaries. How much are we paying our employee? Data analysis can tell you this is the average salary. After the analysis, it tell you the average salary of employee in Better Marketplace. Who is the group of people that owing the getting paid the lowest, and the group of people. You can equal data analysis can give you insights about the number of intake students by course in digital technology business school. Which course do we have the best? We have the highest intake. It can give you that data analysis in digital technology business school is now the trending course after the analysis. It's part of like things you guys did using a pivot table and using dashboard. Is that not?
Yes.
It is, sir.
So that is data analysis. Your duty is to provide insights, not to protect the data. Database administrator protects the data in the database. And data engineer is to build the structure the way it should be in the database. Are you getting it? If there's any automation that needs to happen, automation is the data engineers. So that is, everybody have their roles, different roles. Yeah. And then we have data governance. They make the rule how data is going to be used, who is going to have this access. Data administrator is going to be working based on the rules created by the data governance department or the data governance person or the data governance and data protection. They make rules and they make sure that, because outside the company rules on how to use data and who have access to data, we have global rule, data protection rules like GDPR, where the United Nations stipulates this is how you can use individual or client data in so many ways. So somebody needs to be there for the compliance, making rules for the organization and the rest of them. And who does that? Data governance unit or data governance and protection officers. Then whichever rules they make, the database administrator give access based on the rules. So they protect data, make anything they do, and the data engineer build it, making sure that the structure needed is built. And then the data analyst, you provide insights about the data in the database and so on and so forth. So that's it. ADB.
Yes, sir. All right. So I just want, would you say a business analyst is a data analyst with business domain knowledge? One, and I feel like some of these data roles, the lines are kind of like blurred. So would you, I mean, what exactly is the distinction between somebody who is doing BI versus a business analyst? It seems like one can perform the role of the other. Thank you.
Okay. Like I said, data analysts, you have existing data. Companies do not know about what is going on in their data. So this data need to be consumed. Everybody needs to be on the know about what is going on by using a visualized dashboard to create, metrics. Everybody just at a glance, what is the highest performing stock today? Do you think all these things you are seeing there is people are working on behind to make sure that you see daily stock markets, the way you see that Ajib is the top, you see that Facebook is the top shares today, or things like that. Data analysts, they keep on working to make sure that people, organization, or business leader, they have insights. You can't say that you don't know what is happening. Okay, that is insight on existing data. Business analysis is beyond data. Data is just a domain. That's why you see business analyst. Business analysis is so vast. It covers everywhere. And what they are doing is solving problems. Are you getting it? Have you been in our business analysis class before?
No.
Okay, that's why you're asking this question. Because if you're in our class, you should know that business analysts, they solve problems. They are problem solvers in the organization. But data analysis, they are constantly there. Even if the company do not have any problem, they keep providing insight about business activities based on their data. But business analysts, they are there to solve problems, complex problems, using different solutions. So many business analysts can be working within the data-related environment. Okay, now let me tell you how a business analyst can work in data environment without even being the data, having to do any kind of data, giving insights about data. So many data is in silo. Are you getting it? What is in silo? Silo means that database is here and nobody can access it. Organization cannot access it. For instance, we can have sales department, marketing department, finance department, and the rest of them. All these departments, they have different applications they are using. For instance, sales department, they can be using CRM, HR, they can be using HR like a success factor. Then finance, they can be using ERP like Sage or SAP. These are three different applications, and data, they have data in all these different applications have different databases. So sales cannot access the information in the finance. Finance cannot assign, but some of these people, they keep on sharing information together. So if a sales department need information about a customer transaction, which they might, some information like invoicing, and they can say, okay, how do we get it? The finance can request such information manually. And this causes a lot of problem. This is causing a lot of money for the organization, and things are not efficient, poor data, we have a lot of inconsistent data because the information sharing is, we have bottleneck in information sharing. This is what a lot of companies are suffering today. And the business analyst will come in and solve this problem. This data-related problem. All the business analysts need to do is come and integrate all this application and automate the system. And the whole system will be sharing information in real time. That is the way business analysts can work with data. It's not by extracting data, using Power BI to analyze data and start creating dashboard. Business analyst doesn't do that. Are you getting it?
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
So business analysts, they design how this data is going to be used to make sure that there is efficiency. They design it, and all this design, after designing it, you have data engineers here that are going to start, they are the developers here, data develop, they will start doing the configuration. And the business analysts do the design. Business analysts decide the best way to do that solution. They bring solution to make sure that things work. This is just a domain, data domain. Business analysts can work in so many other ways outside that. So business analysts is like a midfielder. They are everywhere. So some business analysts can just be a subject matter expert in data. They have full knowledge of data. They know everything about data environments. They are data business analysts. You know, that's it. Then we'll have other business analysts in different areas, like they have good knowledge about e-commerce, how to build e-commerce, how to use e-commerce. So they are called e-commerce business analysts. We have some business analysts that have good knowledge about CRM systems, how company can manage their customers using a CRM application. They are called CRM business analysts. We have ERP business analysts. So if companies are looking for experienced business analysts, they will tell you data business analysts. So you know you must have experience in data integration, data mapping, data whatever. That is business. But data analyst is you are giving company insights about what is happening with their data. And their data is their soul. They need to know how healthy the company is. By telling them so profit this year, so profit from Lagos, they should know the departments or their zone or their branch or their product that is performing at all time to help them plan and do stocking. If a product is not moving market, like you see so many of us in Africa, that is why so many businessmen go bankrupt. They keep buying one product all the time. They don't even have insight about how the product is going. They're already ordering for another product without knowing. They don't have insight. Some of the products you have in the warehouse, they are still there since you bought them. They are still there. You don't have any insight. Then another container is lying there, carrying the same product. If a company have a good data analyst and the company is a bit structured, they should know how each product is going market. Any product that is not going market, they might discontinue to sell that product. They must know which region that is buying. So in this case, when a data analyst do some of this exposition, company can see, okay, in Lagos, we've been having constant decline. Customers have not been buying our product in Lagos. Data analyst has managed to expose that customers are not buying in Lagos. For 2 years now, Lagos have been declining. If it's a smart company, they will invite a business analyst, go and investigate why customers are not buying our product in Lagos. This is how business analysts come in. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So where does the
Business
intelligence analyst come in?
So
into play?
business intelligence analyst is when you have good knowledge of data analysis and you are a business analyst. So when you combine that together, you become business intelligence analyst. They can equally call you a data business analyst. Are you getting it? So it means that as a business analyst, you can equally be a one-stop. You can do data analysis and then solve the problem. And that's why I said is a bit higher than business intelligence analyst, is a bit higher role in the data analysis, because they have good knowledge of business analysis and they have good knowledge of that. They are kind of senior consultants. Can call them subject matter experts in that area. Is that are we happy now?
Yes, sir.
All right. So Mr. Eddie, I recommend you join our business analysis class.
All right, I'll think about it. Thank you, sir.
It's important, is everything that you should want to know. If you, like I keep saying, business analysis and project management is very, very important, extremely important in IT. They are the father of everything. No, not that others, but they are connected in everything. You know, because when all these even in data related environments, we still need a project manager. When all this integration is going on, configuration is going on, all these data engineers in data environments, they all need project manager to work with, because they are called developers. These are the developers. Data engineers, they are developers. You know, so they need project managers to work in this environment, to plan their projects. They need business analysts to solve problems, because data environment is very sensitive. It requires constant innovation, constant process improvement. And who does that? Business analysts. You see now, you see companies, you see that Power BI, you can see integrating Power BI so that everybody in the organization can see, as you, the data analyst, analyzing, They are visualizing it in different areas, in TV, they are visualizing it in everywhere. Business analysts do the work, decide how to make all these things come in different ways. That is designing data flow, data, a lot of things they do. But your own is to keep analyzing and keep giving insights, telling them what is going on. You know, that is their job as a business analyst. You capture this large amount of data, you clean them, you visualize them, make it consumable. All right, and it's a very long class today. Yeah.
Yes, so
All right. So thank you, Glory, Baba. We are
Yeah, good
closing.
evening, Mr. Charles.
Have you been sleeping?
Yeah. Thanks for the class today. With the current time change, are we sticking to 8:30 or 9:30, sir?
It's 8:30. Sorry, everybody. It's 8:30. So is what we are going to be doing. So yeah,
Okay,
sorry.
that is
8:30 for Nigerian time.
yes.
8:30 Nigerian time.
So
Because,
the second,
okay.
can I go ahead?
Yes.
Okay. Now I heard you talking about installing my SQL lights. Are we installing it before the class or during your next class tomorrow? We'll do the installation together.
We are going to do it next class. So, like I merged two classes today. I told you people who joined earlier, I'm not going to be available tomorrow. I'm going to do a webinar. And that's why I decided to combine what I'm supposed to do tomorrow into today. And that's why I will have a longer class today.
Okay, so.
So, yeah.
So for the business analyst and project management, I got the explanation actually that if we want to make good use of the data class. But the question I have, will it be so easy for us to combine both with the current course we are running?
Yeah, well, everything we are doing it, we plan it in such a way that one of our class can clash. Like for instance, our data analysis is Monday and Tuesday. The business analysis is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We have a class in business analysis. We are going to close very soon. So once we close it, we'll have a space for another project management and business analysis starts. So
Okay.
yeah.
So we can wait for the next one.
We're not going to jam any of the class because as for now, I'm still the only one teaching. You see, I had a bit of fresh air because of drama, but I'm still looking for competent hand to assist me in project management and the business analysis. Somebody with experience, but experience matters in this area. So yeah. Oh,
Thank
don't
you,
worry. We're getting there. But the point here is that whatever you can lay your hands on in terms of IT, it can never be a wasted investment. As a matter of fact, as you are learning it, even if you have not started using it, within you, you know that there's some knowledge you learn and it becomes so soothing to your heart. So you feel that, yeah, I'm learning something good. But that's how opportunities exist. Okay, I think you people are beginning to wake up as more hands are flying up where I'm trying to give my closing speech. Kiyoma, Kiyoma Okomuku. Okay, I don't think you are raising a hand, and Gerson. I don't know where I've been chatting with you, Gerson.
Yes, sorry. I know I've asked my question. But in regard to the free will tomorrow,
I can't hear you. I think you put your device somewhere and relax somewhere and be watching and be enjoying yourself.
can you hear me now, Mr. Todd?
You can see I'm not lying because I'm in this business. You can't you see your voice? Just yes.
Okay, my question is in regard to the free will tomorrow that you'll be having with that we're all invited to have with them.
Everybody is invited because okay, carry on.
Yeah. So I'm trying to ask whether will there be class tomorrow after that, or we are joining our class.
You know why I decided to not to have a class is that at times you have a webinar and it's overstretched and you see people coming with a lot of interesting questions. You don't want to, they are coming to get answers and you don't want to just close up because, so I don't like a situation because I don't used to have it very often. So when I want to have it, I will try to make sure that if you have questions that are bothering your career, you can bring it and we'll talk about it. And it's important at times. These are very important things we need to do outside just impacting this knowledge. This career insight is very, very important. Even those who are already in the industry, they need some of these insights. And this is what I plan to, give as much insight as I can, so that can help everybody, not only people that are coming to join, but as much as we can, because so many of you might have questions, although you've joined, but you still have indecision on where to major or things like that. Because now, after this data analysis class, you see, we have we've seen how we've broken it down, and you can see there's more career opportunities within this data science. So that's why we're having it's not just for new joiners, it's for everybody. If you have time, you can join, and that's it. So yeah.
Thank you very much. In fact, one thing I must say is you are extraordinary good teacher. I've been in your class. I graduated. I collected my certificate last week for business analyst and project manager. So, in fact, for those who have not tested it, I will encourage them to test it out. It's lovely. In fact, I feel like someone with wings, ready to fly anywhere in the world because of those skills you've imparted about. Sincerely, I'm thankful.
Thank you for that, and yeah. So thank you for the compliment. We try as much as we can to impact, at times we might be doing this, but we don't know what we've done to people's lives. So it might be because I've been doing this for a long time, I might not, but over time, people always come to talk about it. A lot of people are stuck in one place or the other. They don't have headways, but you shouldn't be stuck. That is the point I'm trying to make, because you see, IT has given us a new wing to fly. Whether you are from poor background, whether you are from rich background, we come from an environment where even people have to pay money to get a job. Why should we do that? All you need is the money you are going to use to pay bribe. I see people paying 1 million, a lot of, even to get it, just a normal dinner job, you don't even know. But the money you are going to be using to pour this in, grab this knowledge and open the door for yourself. You don't need to pay anybody once you are a high flyer, and IT is like that. It's open for everybody. It's where you can come in and your life can change all of a sudden. It's where you can be stagnant and you feel liberated. Is where I keep telling people, when you become a project manager, even if you've not gotten a job and you go to the internet and you search, you see so many jobs about project management. There is this kind of reassurance and hope it still gives you. If you go to data now, you see there's a lot of data analyst job, there's a lot of project manager job, there's a lot of IT job, and these are where we should be trying as much as we can to invest, not just the money. It's not the money I'm talking about here, time. Time. So many of us, we devoted a whole lot of 4 to 5 years in the university, and we're coming out with no direction. No, it shouldn't be. It should not be. As a matter of fact, it should be that when you finish 4 years in the university, before you graduate, your job is waiting for you. I had a cousin in Dublin here. The guy studied cybersecurity in undergraduate level. And during in Dublin, part of the studies that at least you need to do 1 year internship. The company he went to do internship for 1 year, immediately he finished his internship, they gave him an open offer, waiting for him to graduate. That is the way it should be. Open offer. So he went back to finish up, but the job is already waiting for him. As he's graduating, he's already flying. But our own, you graduate, you come out to become more confused. It should not be that way. And that is the kind of system we are designing here. You cannot graduate and come out to become confused. That is it. So that is what we are looking at. It might be a bit, but we are getting there. So, yeah. So thank you, everyone. And I'm sorry we're not seeing tomorrow, because I know someone want to good. We're getting there. But I'll try to make the notes available so that you go and do more study and get ready for us to come and install our database and get our hands dirty. Yeah. All right. Thank you. And
Thank you,
yeah,
Mr. Charles.
I'm
Thank you,
not
sir.
mind you guys, I'm not taking Choma away. Choma is still part of us. So he's just going to be just have a little break and she'll be back.
Yeah, she mentioned that.
All right. All right. All right.
Good
Good
night.
night. And yeah.
Good night, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good night, Mr. Charles.
Good night. Night, everyone.
Thanks.
Good night, Mr. Charles. Thank you.
Yeah.